Hey guys, it's me, Lily Rose, the admin here at Encouragement Corner on Facebook, and we are in our Bible time, which is kind of what I'm calling it right now, since we're not in the middle of a book, but I'm kind of tempted to go beyond the chapter I'm reading today and maybe do a little bit more of just this book. But we're in 1 Samuel chapter 1, and we're going to look into the life of a lady named Hannah. And part of why I'm in this story today is because the verse I gave to one of my sons is actually in this first chapter, where it says, I've asked the Lord to give me this boy, and he granted my request. Now I'm giving him to the Lord, and he will belong to the Lord his whole life. And so that's a birth verse that I gave one of my children. So I often visit this chapter. But let's look at Hannah. There was a man named Elkanah who lived in Ramah in the region of Zuph in the hill country of Ephraim. He was the son of Jeroham, son of Elihu, son of Tohu, son of Zuph of Ephraim. Elkanah and his two wives, Hannah and Peninnah. Peninnah had children, but Hannah did not. Each year, Elkanah would travel to Shiloh to worship and sacrifice to the Lord of Heaven's armies at the tabernacle. The priests of the Lord at the time were the two sons of Eli, Hophni and Phinehas. Now, these guys were not good people. For whatever reason, the priest's sons just did not follow the Lord the way that they were supposed to. But we'll hear more about that if we continue in this book. It says, on the days that Elkanah presented a sacrifice, he would give portions of the meat to Peninnah and each of her children. And though he loved Hannah, he would give her only one choice portion, because the Lord had given her no children. So Peninnah would taunt Hannah and make fun of her because the Lord had kept her from having children. We see this a lot throughout the Old Testament, guys, where various women, there's a second wife involved, and one is barren and one is not. I don't know why that is specifically, but I have taken a lot of note of that throughout the Old Testament, from Sarah and Hagar to Jacob's wives. There's a lot of places where you see this, and then the Lord always uses it. See, God always uses our pain and suffering, and in these barren things, which was a horrible thing to be back in Bible times, it was like an honor to have children. So just to see how the Lord works and moves in these different women's lives and brings about things for his glory is so beautiful. Okay, let's continue on. So she's taunting Hannah as they went to the tabernacle. Each time Hannah would be reduced to tears and would not even eat. Why are you crying, Hannah? Elkanah would say. Why aren't you eating? Why be downhearted just because you have no children? You have me. Isn't that better than having 10 sons? Once after a sacrificial meal at Shiloh, Hannah got up and went to pray. Eli, the priest, was sitting at his customary place beside the entrance of the tabernacle. Hannah was in deep anguish, crying bitterly as she prayed to the Lord. Wow, I have been there, done that, right? And she made this vow, O Lord of heaven's armies, if you will look upon my sorrow and answer my prayer and give me a son, then I will give him back to you. He will be yours for his entire lifetime, and as a sign that he has been dedicated to the Lord, his hair will never be cut. As she was praying to the Lord, Eli watched her. Seeing her lips move, but hearing no sound, he thought she'd been drinking. Must you come here drunk? He demanded. Throw away your wine. Oh, no, sir, she replied. I haven't been drinking wine or anything stronger, but I am very discouraged, and I was pouring my heart out to the Lord. Don't think I'm a wicked woman, for I have been praying out of my anguish and my sorrow. In that case, Eli said, go in peace. May the God of Israel grant the request you have asked him. "Oh, thank you, sir," she exclaimed. Then she went back and began to eat again, and was no longer sad. The entire family got up early the next morning and went to worship the Lord once more. Then they returned from Ramah. When Elkanah slept with Hannah, the Lord remembered her plea, and in due time she gave birth to a son. She named him Samuel, for she said, "I asked the Lord for him." The next year, Elkanah and his family went on their annual trip to offer a sacrifice to the Lord, but Hannah did not go. She told her husband, "Wait until the boy is weaned. Then I will take him to the tabernacle and leave him there with the Lord permanently." "Whatever you think is best," Elkanah agreed. "Stay here for now, and may the Lord help you keep your promise." So she stayed home and nursed the boy until he was weaned. When the child was weaned, Hannah took him to the tabernacle in Shiloh. They brought along a 3-year-old bull for the sacrifice and a basket of flour and wine. After sacrificing the bull, they brought the boy to Eli. "Sir, do you remember me?" Hannah asked. "I am the woman who stood here several years ago praying to the Lord. I asked the Lord to give me this boy, and he granted my request. Now I'm giving him to the Lord, and he will belong to the Lord for the rest of his life." And they worshiped the Lord there. And now here in chapter 2, real quick, is Hannah's song. And I love these songs scattered throughout the Bible because they're beautiful pouring out. I don't know if you've ever been in a state of emotion and prayer and crying out to God, and you've kind of written out something in a journal or something like that. And I know I've done that, and it's almost like a song or a prayer that's kind of poured out in poetic form, or in this case in a melody, and they're meaningful, and I'm so glad that they're here in God's word. It says, "My heart rejoices in the Lord. The Lord has made me strong. Now I have an answer for my enemy. I rejoice because you rescued me. No one is holy like the Lord. There is no one beside you. There is no rock like our God. Stop acting so proud and haughty. Don't speak with such arrogance. For the Lord is a God who knows what you have done. He will judge your actions. The bow of the mighty is now broken, and those who stumble are now strong. Those who are well fed are now starving, and those who are starving are full of food. The childless woman now has 7 children, and the woman with many children wastes away. The Lord gives both death and life. He brings some to the grave, but raises others up. The Lord makes some poor and others rich. He brings some down and lifts others up. He lifts the poor from the dust and the needy from the garbage dump. He sets them among princes, placing them in seats of honor. For all the earth is the Lord's, and he has set the world in order. He will protect his faithful ones, but the wicked will disappear into darkness. No one will succeed by strength alone. Those who fight against the Lord will be shattered. He thunders against them from heaven. The Lord judges throughout the earth. He gives power to his king. He increases the strength of his anointed one.